I hope this isn't out of line, but you do have beautiful breasts.
Looking at cleavage is like looking at the sun. You don't stare at it.
Okay, so here we are, Codsworth. We're going to give some acknowledgements to some of our favorite people who have given us some inspiration for what we did here. So the first thing I'd like to point to is the entrance. Now this entrance is very much like something that Lord Runolf Olafson did, and I probably butchered his name, but it was part of his, it was in his Halloween video a few years ago. He did a Halloween challenge, and this is kind of loosely based on his entrance there. And I don't know how loosely. His entrance is actually pretty similar to this. He built it differently, but the idea of having an entrance over the top of this and all that kind of stuff was definitely the inspiration for this. So he of course decorated it up much better than I have, and that kind of stuff, but I definitely wanted to point that out. It was something that he had done that really kind of drove me to this. Then I'm going to come up here and we're going to go to this bunkhouse here. Now this bunkhouse is based on more or less identical to, other than maybe the pieces that I used and whatnot, but this is based on something that JPIC Odeth did, and this is basically use railroad cars and then you put the pieces around it. Now the railroad cars are narrower than the normal flooring and the side, the walls and all that kind of stuff. So the end walls you have to basically patch in place. So those are patched in, and you'll notice that both sides look the same if you look up here. So virtually the same. But this is something that he did, and I saw it and told him I was going to steal it at some point, and it works out perfect for a bunkhouse. And so it was actually this bunkhouse that kind of made me think of the chicken coop bunkhouse that I came up with. And admittedly, that's all my own. Nobody inspired me on that, but it was that kind of drove me to the chicken coop as kind of an evolution type thing. And then this part of this bunkhouse, this initial part here, is a similar type of thing where it's narrower, and you can see how the roof overhangs and that kind of stuff. So this part is narrower, and I wanted to see if I could merge that concept into a normal building. So that's where I came up with the rest of this building, and it worked out okay. It took a lot of effort, and if you watch the videos and stuff, you can see that. I'm not sure, can't remember what the deal was, but the roof did not line up the way that you would want it to. So yeah, so it didn't quite work out. Merging all together, I mean, it worked out fine, but it didn't go together seamlessly, especially if you didn't want this wall to overlap over. So which I didn't, but it works out excellent in the end, I believe. So JPIC Odeth was responsible for that inspiration without a doubt. Had I not seen that, in fact, he had pointed me to go see that. He calls it a generator shack, but he admits that you can use it for lots of different things, and it has a lot of flexibility, which he is absolutely correct. So definitely go check that out. There's going to be a link to his video down below, so go check that out. Now the combination door lock, for the most part, this is something that admittedly I'd not seen anybody else do. If I had, I think I had seen like one little snippet. I don't remember where it was I had seen it, but I had come up with a combination door lock. It didn't work the way I wanted it to. I had done that for the castle, and it was some stuff that my good friend Nacho Bidness had done that helped me kind of correct some of those issues. And so his work helped me kind of fine tune what I wanted to get accomplished with the combination door lock. So yeah, thanks to him for getting that taken care of. Now we're going to come back to the firing range, and the firing range is there's a couple bits of inspiration here. So of course, my good friend Mark Jackson, he's always um, you know, he's always very gung ho, and with the work that he does and whatnot, firing ranges would be very significant for him. And I know that he always appreciates the firing ranges, but it was actually a guy named High Roller that several months ago, it could even have been, more than a year ago, I had seen some work that he did. He's got two really awesome firing range videos out there. Now they're a bit longer. One's like an hour and 30 minutes, and the other one's like an hour and 15 minutes of part one and part two. And he makes up a skeet range, and that was one of the videos that I first had seen, and kind of made me want to try different things for firing ranges. Now this is probably the third or fourth different type of firing range that I've done, all powered in one way or the other, and I've done a couple videos on how I've done them. The first one I did was at the castle, and so there's some different aspects to that you can see, but I wanted to come up with something a little bit different. One of his videos, he has a minigun firing range, and so it was kind of that made me want to do like a heavy weapons firing range. His is significantly different than mine. Um, Definitely worth a check out. So go check out his videos as well. I think you'll appreciate those, and there'll be a link to his first one in the description. You can find the second one just by going to his channel as well, which you'll be able to find the channel in the description as well. He does some really crazy stuff. I don't know if he's still vanilla, but back in the day he was all vanilla, and he was doing some crazy stuff like making videos showing the Minutemen marching and going to war and doing battles and stuff like that. And that's pretty crazy how he did it. I know how he did it, and it worked out really well, but it was still pretty crazy to do that in vanilla. So the next thing I wanted to point out is the fact that I left as many trees as I possibly could. And for the most part, that was inspired by Morpheus, GI. He had done and had talked about doing some treehouse builds and that kind of stuff. And particularly here at Far Harbor. And so I think he had done one at the Welcome Center, but because of that, kind of made me want to keep the trees, as much trees as I could, just because of the look that it gave, and also anytime leaving anything not scrapped like this boat and the trees and anything else, I definitely have to give mad props to my friend On a Whim 7737. She is a huge fan of not scrapping anything more than what you really need to. So give crazy props to her. Then we're going to get into the decorating, and I can never talk enough about my inspiration for decorating, even though far from her level and ability, but her inspiration, and that's Phoenix. When you're the best in the business, you get all the props for it. So, and she really is best in the business when it comes to decorating. So, it's her work that always inspires me on any decorating that I do. And there's a lot of other great people out there that do some awesome decorating, but she is hands down the best in the business for that. So, I want to give mad props to her for that kind of stuff. Finally, we just passed through this. We just passed through the armor vendor, and I wanted to definitely point out, not to toot my own horn. I mean, it is my video and all, but not to toot my own horn about it. However, Um, this, if you hadn't noticed, this is the chicken coop bunkhouse that I had made. So this is a variation of the chicken coop. Basically, it's just a small little version of it, little L-shaped version, and I made it so it wrapped around Longfellow's cabin here. And this is my own creation. I can't give anybody any props for it. Um, but I just wanted to, while I was at it, I wanted to point out that here's another variation of it and another use that you can use for it, not just as a bunkhouse, but you can also use it as a vendor stall and still make it somewhat small, but roomy enough to have a vendor in there. And then while I'm here, another prop to Phoenix for um, using different things to disguise and hide the end of a level 3 vendor stall. So there's that one, and then if we come over here to the general trader, then we'll see this one here is also a level 3 that I put a bunch of stuff in front of just to hide it. And you can see the back here, and so I got a magazine rack, and that's something that she's used before. And put a couple of dressers here, and these are a couple of bookshelves back to back, and just something just to kind of hide it so you can't see it, and makes it look like there's just something else there. So that's something that she kind of did a while ago, and I really love it, and she continues to do it. And so, and the same thing over here, this is a level 3, and I just kind of hit it with some stuff and made it look like something different and unique and all its own. So she of course gets mad props for that. Not the exact same thing that she does, but of course mine's nowhere near as good as anything that she does. But you can still have that level 3 if you want it, and hide it and make it not look quite so lame, I guess, by having a level 3 vendor in there. So yeah, those are the people that have inspired me on this build, and I'm sure there's been so many others that have inspired me on this, but those are everyone that really on this particular build that came out and came out in my mind, and as I was building it, came up with different things that made me think of stuff. So next, I want to talk about where I'm going to go build next. So I have an entire list of places to go, and what we're going to do is we're going to head. Well, right now, I can say that the National Park HQ. I called it the Visitor Center or whatever, Welcome Center earlier, but it's the National Park HQ. I have that on the list, so I haven't built there, or at least I started. It's all kinds of messed up, so I basically have to start over fresh from there. And then we'll head back to the Commonwealth, and we can kind of go through all the other ones that I have. One is the Red Rocket in the Commonwealth, so there's that one. That one's, just someplace I have never even messed around with building at. So there's that. And then we're going to say Starlight Drive-In. I'm going to put an asterisk next to that because after doing the Evolution Challenge at Starlight, I really don't feel like building there again anytime soon. But it is one of the ones that is still open. We're going to come down to Egret Tours Marina. That's a place that is still open. Vault 88, that's another place that's open. Come up here to Sunshine Tidings. That place is open. Gray Garden. There's nothing there at the moment. Kingsport Lighthouse up here someplace. Kingsport Lighthouse. Taffington Boathouse right here. The Mechanist Lair. I've never built at the Mechanist Lair. Boston Airport. Never built there. And Abernathy Farm. Have not built at Abernathy Farm. At least nothing in specific. Croup Manor. So we have Croup Manor over here. Finch Farm, which is a place I'd like to build at some point, just never have. Jamaica Plains down here someplace. Jamaica Plains. Here, Jamaica Plains. And I think that's probably it. Oh, wait. So we have Nordhagen Beach. Up this way. Nordhagen Beach. Nuka World Red Rocket is another one. So those are the ones I still have to build at. And I want to open it up for voting or discussion or comments. If somebody's got someplace, give me a really good reason why you'd want me to build it someplace. But the two I'm really leaning towards right now is Egret Tours Marina and Vault 88. And I'll give you the reasons why. So Vault 88, I've never built a vault at all. So I have a plan for something what I want to do with the vault. So that's kind of one of the things. I have a plan. I have an idea of what I want to build there. And like I said, I've never built using any of the vault tech stuff. So that might be interesting. And then finally, Egret Tours Marina. Again, someplace that I have a plan, something that I want to build there. You can see there's 27 people there. I've built some stuff there, nothing really share worthy other than to laugh at, which I will share what I've built there so you can all laugh at it, but because you'll get to see that on the initial tour if that's where I go, but not something that I would consider a settlement. So let me know in the comments down below where you think I should build. If it's not Egret Tours or Vault 88, then give me a very good argument about where you think I should go, and maybe even a suggestion of what I should build there. Keep in mind the theme and the idea of the types of things that I build. Particularly this playthrough, this is my normal build character. It's a Minuteman based thing, so I'm the general and I'm going to run around and build up the Commonwealth. It's vastly improving the Commonwealth. That's what it's all about, and that type of stuff. I like to have some sort of purpose and theme behind the settlements that I have. Someplace like Greentop Nursery, it's now Greentop Brewery. So, and then you go over to the Slog, and that's like a kind of a resort with the theater and all that kind of stuff. So certain aspects where they all kind of fit in, and each settlement kind of serves its own purpose and blends together. So keep that in mind in your suggestions, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. And with that, I am going to say have a good night, and I will talk to you all later. All right, Codsworth. Save this holotape, load it up, let's clean it up, and we'll get it out to the masses. Alright. With that, Codsworth, let's head down to Coastal Cottage and see how things are going there.
Excuse me, sir. Seeing as how the VP is such a VIP, shouldn't we keep the PC on the QT? Because if it leaks to the VC, you can end up an MIA, and then we'd all be put on KP.